Welcome back to the Thrive 45 Method podcast with me, your host, nutritionist Stacey Nicole Smith. And this is the space where we talk all things weight loss and wellness for the woman in perimenopause and menopause. Now, let's get started with today's episode. Good morning, guys. How are you? Welcome back. All right, so we are talking about why do I feel hungrier during perimenopause? So you have probably noticed that maybe your appetite has increased. Maybe you feel hungry when you've already eaten, excuse me, or maybe you're having food cravings that you didn't normally have. And these are very real things because with the hormonal changes of perimenopause, of course, and then we transition into menopause from there. These are obviously affecting our hunger and appetite. It's a very real thing. So as an example, estrogen is playing a very big role in regulating our appetite and our blood sugar. Because when we think of, perimenopause, menopause, and the fluctuation of hormones, we tend to just think of estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, right? But the thing is, these affect other hormones. They affect our hunger hormones, and they affect our blood sugar insulin response. And so these are some of the things that are having women gain weight seemingly out of nowhere, or the things that you used to do no longer seem to be working. So when we have this basic understanding, you can do one of two things. Well, without the basic understanding, you could do one of two things, which is what a lot of women are still doing. And it frustrates me to no end because they always still want to do the quick fix. There's that camp of women and they think that the new shiny thing is the thing, and the latest one is these injections. And I keep hearing it all the time. And if I'm going to be quite frank, those are the women I don't even want to work with, because if you're still searching for a quick fix, like I will get frustrated working with you. So, and it's going to make your situation inevitably worse, because I've already worked with women who have tried it and now they're really frustrated. And guess what? Now you've made it harder for yourself to lose weight, because when you take these damn injections, you're also losing muscle mass. And this is if you've had no real crazy side effects, which a lot of women get. And so now it's even stickier to lose the weight. So you just wasted your money, wasted your time, and did some damage to your body. And now we got to work on the foundation. So anyway, I digress. But no, when I speak, because I spoke to somebody just this week, and she's like, oh, I'm going to try this, and it's one of the injectables. And I'm like, I'm not even going to argue. I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to convince you of anything. Do your thing. Talk to you in a year when you gain the weight back and then some, because you didn't do it the right way. So how we actually want to deal with it properly is have a general understanding and first acknowledge, okay, this isn't a willpower thing. This is a real thing that's happening, right? So when our estrogen starts to, fluctuate and then decline, this is affecting our hunger hormones, and it's affecting our blood sugar, which affects our cravings. So if you find yourself craving, carbs out of nowhere you didn't usually, well, carbs is the quickest way to bring your blood sugar back up. So that's why you're having these cravings, because your body's trying to regulate itself, but it's doing so in the form of excess hunger and food cravings. So instead, what we want to do is we want to say, okay, this is what's happening. Let me go into the root of the issue and address it this way. And to do that, we want to do certain things like we want to balance your blood sugar. We want to calm down inflammation, and we want to get a better insulin response from the blood sugar. So insulin is your fat storage hormone. So that's going to tell your body basically to store fat. So we just want to work at the foundational level, a root cause approach, and get these things firing on all cylinders. When you do that, you're going to calm the hunger. You're going to calm the excess hunger. You're going to calm or completely eliminate food cravings. And you're going to signal to your body to release the stored fat and use it as fuel and burn it off. And then to efficiently use the new food that you're eating very efficiently and burn it off as fuel as well, instead of storing it as fat. So when you have this basic understanding and you're like, okay, it's not me, there's not something wrong with me. This is a hormonal thing that's happening. So let me just understand it and work with it. Now, obviously, this is something I can help you with, but if you want to go do the next injection, I have no interest in dealing with you until you've rebounded and you realize you got to do it the right way. But anyway, So these are some of the things we want to deal with. Now, another thing a lot of people don't talk about, and I do talk frequently about it, about achieving the hormonal balance and getting your hunger hormone signaling properly, getting your blood sugar balanced and working properly, um, gut health, improving your insulin response, all that kind of stuff, because that's going to give you lasting results. You will not be fighting through willpower. You will not be fighting through cravings, because we're going to squash them. But here's the part a lot of people miss. When I say that, I think a lot of people think, okay, I'll just go in and I'll do what you're saying and it'll be fine. Well, here's the thing. There's an adjustment period. And this is a part I need people to kind of wrap their head around. And I saw a video recently that really irritated me. And I'm going to tell you what it was. I'm going to tell you why it irritated me. So there was this woman that did this video, and she was sitting in her car. And I think she was trying to be funny and obviously trying to get her clicks and her likes and whatever. But I think she's doing women a big disservice. And she was sitting in her car, and her thing was, oh, perimenopausal weight gain is real. She was sitting in her car, stuffing her face with fast food. And like not a little bit of fast food, like a lot, like justifying it. Chicken nuggets, a burger, fries, like sitting there, she had a milkshake, just stuffing her face and saying, oh yeah, the perimenopause weight gain is real. Girl, you're gaining weight because you're stuffing your face with fast food. Any human being, unless you have some super metabolism, I would gain weight if I did that. And that's called having a victim mentality. She's thinking, because I'm in perimenopause, it can justify, giving into every little craving, and it's because of perimenopause that I'm gaining weight. No, girl, you're gaining weight because you're stuffing your freaking face. To me, that just did such a huge disservice to women, because it's basically saying, oh, well, you're in perimenopause. There's nothing you could do about it. You might as well just give in to every whim. Well, no, there also comes a point when you need the right strategy, but you also need to take some personal accountability. Like another example, if you don't follow my story, I quit drinking alcohol over 4 years ago. I used to drink a lot of wine. It was very much part of my lifestyle. And when I quit drinking, I had to change some habits that I had, obviously, some situations that I put myself into. But if I was like this woman with the food, I would have just said, oh, well, I kind of feel like having a glass of wine. I got to give in to my craving. No, I took personal accountability for my actions. And if I had given into every craving like this woman's giving into and blaming it on perimenopause when she is just not taking any responsibility whatsoever and just blaming it on that, I'd still be drinking today. But I didn't, because you know what? When you change habits and you change strategies, you do have, some cravings or wanting in the beginning, but when you do it properly, they go away and it gets easier, and then it becomes part of your lifestyle. So you do have to recognize that, yeah, change can be difficult in the beginning. To get a different result, you have to do something different in your daily routine. Now, the good news is that doesn't mean starving yourself, because number one, that's going to do the opposite at this age. If you're going to starve yourself, number one, it's going to create more hunger. So then you can't fight through it. It's just too hard. It's, you know what I mean? There's too much willpower required, and we only have so much of it every day. So that's when people can't stick with something. So it's about getting to the root of the issue and saying, okay, here, because the body is a wonderful, intelligent being. And when you take a moment to step back and say, this is what's happening. Okay, so this is what needs to happen to work with this. But what a lot of people are just doing is, putting a Band-Aid on it, hoping it's going to work. Well, if quick fixes worked, nobody would have a weight issue, because it would have worked the first time we did it 30 years ago. You know what I mean? It just gets you stuck in a cycle and makes it worse. And the second one is, yeah, you do have to realize that some changes need to be made in the beginning, but it does get easier when you implement the right changes. And it does get rid of food cravings, and it does get rid of excess hunger, and it does release stored fat from the body without needing to starve. And this way it keeps it off, because you're working with your hormonal system. And I believe I said this last week, and I'm going to say it again. You can't starve your way to hormonal health. You have to fuel your body properly so that it operates and thrives optimally, which it absolutely can do. So I hope that helps you today. Feeling a little spicy going off, because I feel really irritated at this woman's video simply because there's more than just a silly video. Like, she's giving a big message there, and I don't like it, and it's doing women wrong. Saying, oh, well, perimenopause weight gain, that's why I'm gaining. No, woman, you're stuffing your freaking face, that's why you're gaining weight. And blaming it on something else, and that's a victim mentality. And you will never win in life with a victim mentality. And got to take some personal accountability, which this woman was not doing. And I'm clearly irritated by it, as you can see, because I've mentioned it 3 times right now. So anyway, leave your comments below. I hope that helps you. And one last time I'm going to mention this is I did create a quiz for you guys to help you out to see if you're experiencing one of 3 weight loss resistance patterns, because I've noticed patterns with women over the age of 40, 45, going through the hormonal changes of perimenopause. And when you understand your weight loss resistance pattern, it makes it a lot easier to deal with, and also makes you feel a little bit better. Like, oh, it's not me, I'm not broken. This is what's happening, and this is why I may be having a more difficult time losing the weight. And so when we figure out the weight loss resistance pattern, it makes it a little bit easier to work with that. And so when you complete the quiz and you get your response, you also get an email kind of explaining what that is and some things that you can do about that. So if you want the quiz, comment below quiz, or send me a private DM with the word quiz. I love getting DMs from you guys and chatting with you and kind of getting to know who's following my work and all that kind of stuff. Or you can also grab it right now for a short time. I'm going to take it down soon at the link in my bio. And that is the free quiz to find out your weight loss resistance pattern. Anyway, hope that helps you guys. Sorry, I got a little bit spicy today. I got worked up about a couple things. But weight loss at this age is totally doable, and it's totally doable in the right way. But please stop with these quick fixes, because you're just making it harder to lose the weight long term and frustrating yourself in the process. And next thing you know, you're going to be in your car stuffing your face with fast food because you're frustrated and you think the perimenopause and menopause is inevitable, and it's not. Promise. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Bye. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, please be sure to like and subscribe to be notified when new episodes are released. Episodes like this are released weekly for all things weight loss and wellness with a woman in perimenopause and menopause. And for other ways I can help you, please be sure to visit the show notes or visit my bio. Thanks for listening. Bye.